Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In the previous video, we talked about the history of Kenyan Sign Language. If you have not watched that video, I will put a link up here to the video. Today, it's all about total communication. When communicating to a deaf person, total communication is very important. What is total communication? Total communication is a philosophy that describes the different methods that are used to communicate with a person with hearing impairment. There are 11 components of total communication. The first one is fingerspelling, and it's also called manual alphabets. This is a representation of the letters of the alphabet using fingers. Each letter of the alphabet has its own sign. You can check this out in my other video of the letters of the alphabet. I'll put a link up here. This is also the act of shaping your fingers to represent the 26 letters of the alphabet. There are two types of manual alphabets. The first one is one-handed, and the second one is two-handed. The one-handed, this is whereby we use one hand to represent the letters of the alphabet. For example, A, B, C. And in two-handed, we use both hands. A, B, C. The one-handed system is used in Kenya, the US, Singapore, and Philippines. The two-handed system is used in New Zealand, England, and Australia. In South Africa, both one-handed and two-handed systems are used. The second component of total communication is sign language. Sign language is a visual gestural language that is used by the deaf and the people who subscribe to their culture. This is the language that we use manual, non-manual, and fingerspelling to communicate. This is because it is culturally and environmentally based. Every country has its own sign language. As is in the case of spoken language, every region has its own sign language too. It is true to say that some signs in sign language may differ from the deaf in Nairobi and those ones in Kakamega or Kisumu or any other place. The third component of total communication is mimicry. This is the use of body language and facial expression to convey meaning. We can express our emotions and feelings by wearing different faces. We can tell where there is worry, where there is sadness, and happiness. This is mimicry. The fourth one is body language. This is a term for communication that uses movement or gestures instead of signs or sound, verbal language, or other communication. Body language also incorporates the use of facial expression. In our daily lives, we encounter different forms of body language gestures. For example, when a person crosses his or her hands across the body, it might mean the person is feeling cold. That is body language. Number 5 component is speech or lip reading. This is the ability to perceive speech by watching the movement of the speaker's mouth or Observing all other visual cues, including facial expression and gestures. When communicating to a person with hearing impairment who depends on speech or lip reading, there are different rules that you're supposed to observe at this time. The first one is maintaining eye contact when talking to the person. The second rule is always face the source of the light. Number 3, don't talk while your face is turned away. Number 4, speak more deliberately and slower than usual, but normal without exaggerating. Number 5, keep your face at the same level with the person. Don't be higher than the person you are talking to or lower than the person you are talking to. Rule number 6, don't be more than 2 meters away from the person. Number 7, don't cover your mouth while speaking. Number 8, don't chew while speaking. The sixth component of total communication is eye contact. Eye contact is one of the most important features of communication with a person with hearing impairment. In a conversation, when you are speaking to the person with hearing impairment, looking away might mean a pause, and looking at the person you're talking to makes the person to be attentive. Number 7 component of total communication is pantomime or pantomime. This is a sequence of events that is described through gestures, body language, and facial expression without the use of signs or sounds. In this case, I do not have to tell you what I'm doing. You can see I've not made any sounds, I've not made any signs, but you can understand everything that is going on in the short clip. A person is coming from the house with a lot of clothes to wash. The person sorts the clothes, puts them in a basin, puts some soap in it, pours water, and starts washing. The person washes the clothes, rinses, and airs them. All this gotten out of the clip without any sounds, without any signs. That is pantomime. Here, someone wants to fetch water from the well. She comes with containers. She puts the bucket inside the well and makes sure that the bucket has water. Then she pulls the water, and you can see how heavy the water is from the facial expression and body language. She fills her containers and then takes the containers to the destination where they are supposed to be kept. All this you can tell from the video without sound, without signs. This is pantomime. The eighth component of total communication is reading, writing, and Braille. This is only used with a person with hearing impairment who is literate. You can write on a paper or a book and give it to the person with hearing impairment. They will also respond to whatever you've asked or told them by writing. You can also communicate with people with hearing impairment using emails, SMS, or video calls. In video calls, you will have to sign with them. In a classroom situation, the teacher can write on the board and the learners will respond by writing in their books or by also writing on the board. For the use of Braille, there are hearing impaired people who use Braille, so they can talk or communicate using Braille. The ninth component of total communication is cued speech. This is an oral method that uses hand cues with speech. The hand cues are used near the mouth to overcome the problem of lip reading, where sounds are identical or impossible to see. When lip reading, many words look alike. They have the same lip movement and lip shape. For example, Baba, Mama, Deep, Deep. In order to clarify meaning, you can cue in the person you're talking to by fingerspelling the first letter of the syllable you want to communicate. Baba, Baba, Mama, Mama, Deep, Deep, Tip, Tip, Pay, Pay, May, May. They will look alike if you don't cue in the person. For example, you can also not see the difference because you cannot hear me talk. But when I talk, you can see the difference. Number 10 component of total communication is pointing. Pointing is used for reference and placement. For example, if you're talking about a third person and the person is with you, you will first refer to the person by pointing and then express your communication. You can also show the position of a person or a thing by pointing. The 11th component of total communication is natural signs. These are handshakes and movements that we use in our everyday life. For example, bye, bye. This is a natural sign. A baby can also do this. They know that it means bye, but they don't know if it is sign language. It is a sign language, but it is also a natural sign. Then come, come. It is natural. It is not a must that you go to a sign language class for you to know that this come, go, go. That is another example of natural sign. I don't know. I don't know. Another example is yes, yes, no, no, stop, stop. You now know the components of total communication. Make sure when you are communicating to a person who is deaf or who has hearing impairment, you use all the components of total communication. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. You can check out other videos on the screen, and you can tap on the round button there to subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video. Bye.